I want to speak plainly, not because I'm afraid of being misunderstood, but clarity matters. This isn't an attack on religion. This isn't an attack on spirituality. This isn't an attack on beliefs. It's about what happens when belief systems start replacing understanding, and when people use ideology to avoid honesty, accountability, and coherence. If you've ever felt like you're being treated as the problem for simply trying to think clearly, this conversation is for you. Chapter 1, the noise. We live in a time where everyone operates through a lens, whether that lens is religion, psychology, politics, trauma language, identity frameworks. None of those are inherently wrong, but when those lenses are imposed on real human relationships instead of used to understand them, something breaks. People stop meeting each other where they are and start defending positions. Not everything needs interpretation. Some things need presence, and when presence disappears, coherence goes with it. Chapter 2, too many voices. When too many voices try to define your inner reality, the mind doesn't collapse, it fragments, especially when those voices come from people close to you. Family, faith communities, authority figures. Confusion isn't always a lack of truth. Sometimes it's too many unfiltered narratives operating for control. Anyone in that position long enough will start questioning themselves. That doesn't mean they're weak. It means they're human. Chapter 3, when trust replaces love. When trust erodes, the relationship itself changes. It stops being about love in the way people like to talk about it, and it becomes about safety, clarity, and self-protection. Guarding your heart isn't cruelty. It's what happens when coherence breaks down. Love cannot function without trust underneath it, and a relationship cannot survive when accountability only flows in one direction, or when one person's narrative is treated as a reality for both. That isn't unity. That's imbalance. Chapter 4, context is not an excuse. I want to say this plainly. Taking responsibility doesn't mean pretending context doesn't exist. Pressure affects the nervous system. Lack of clarity creates fear. Fear changes behavior. That doesn't excuse harm, but it does explain why dynamics unravel. Relationships are systems that two people co-create. Reducing everything into one person being the problem isn't accountability, it's simplification. And simplification prevents repair. Chapter 5, labels are not truth. There's a moment where language stops describing reality and starts managing it. When people label instead of listen, conversation ends. Words like unsafe, unhealed, or aggressive can become tools to shut down dialogue instead of invitations to understanding. Anything that removes agency isn't truth. Truth integrates. Control fragments. Chapter 6, digital minds. Our nervous systems were never designed to process endless disembodied voices as authority. Your brain doesn't know the difference between someone in the room and someone speaking through a screen. That's not conspiracy. That's biology. When digital narratives override lived experience, relationships don't fracture because people are evil. They fracture because reality gets distorted. Chapter 7, capital versus character. Lack of leverage does not equal lack of intelligence. Capital isn't character. Status isn't wisdom. You can be capable, perceptive, and principled and still navigating constraint. Being misunderstood doesn't make you defective, and being early doesn't make you wrong. Chapter 8, conditional acceptance. Some people don't actually want you. They want access, your energy, your capacity, what you can provide, but only if you modify yourself to fit their comfort. That's not love. That's conditional engagement. A real relationship doesn't require self-erasure to be tolerated. When interest disappears the moment you stop shrinking, that's not rejection. That's clarity. Chapter 9, when love becomes a battleground. Love isn't just a feeling, it's a choice to stay present, accountable, and honest, especially when things are uncomfortable. Effective communication takes two people willing to remain in the conversation, not two people clinging to roles, not victim versus aggressor, not blame versus defense. Union cannot exist without clarity. When ideology replaces empathy, love turns into conflict. Chapter 10, pathological faith. There's a version of faith that produces humility, responsibility, and care. And there's a version that uses scripture to assert moral superiority and avoid accountability. I'm not interested in debating verses. I'm interested in how people treat each other. If faith makes someone harder to speak to, not safer to be around, something has gone wrong. Chapter 11, mental sovereignty. Mental sovereignty isn't rebellion. It's refusing to abandon yourself to preserve someone else's comfort. It's choosing coherence over consensus. Boundaries aren't punishment. They're the conditions required for trust, for clarity, and for peace. If this resonates, you're not broken. And you're not crazy. You're navigating real pressures in a noisy world. Clarity is still possible. This channel exists to pursue coherence in thought, in relationship, and in life. If you like content like this, consider subscribing. If you made it this far, thank you for your time. And I plan to copy and paste my mind onto this algorithm in hopes to inspire people. Coming off real and raw, sometimes it's just like the message is not reaching people because maybe my emotions got wrapped into it, or maybe I was very intense and assertive, but my heart is for the people. And I'm trying out this new strategy to get my ideas out so that it can actually resonate with people and actually cause world change. It's your boy, Michael Donniell. Michael Donniell is passion. Like I always say, self-love is the best love. Self-validation is the best validation. And strong people build a strong nation. Y'all gonna be great. Don't hesitate. Peace.